If you're experiencing erectile dysfunction, but your body still responds in certain situations, I want you to really hear this. This is not a physical problem. This is your brain. And once you understand exactly what's happening inside your brain, how it's been trained and conditioned, this becomes something that is not only explainable, but it becomes reversible. This video is brought to you by my HarperCollins published book, Mind Over Explicit Matter. If you're ready to quit porn and reclaim your life mentally and physically, go over to drtrishleigh.com/book. I'm going to show you exactly how this happens, and more importantly, why people try to fix the wrong thing, which leads them to stay stuck for so long because of it. Okay, this is where the hijack happens, and most people completely miss it. Your brain is being trained by a level of stimulation it was never designed to handle. Constant novelty, rapid switching, escalating intensity, all compressed into seconds. So your dopamine spikes higher than anything in real life could ever produce, and it stays elevated longer. You can see the spike in the elevation. Then your brain adapts. It calibrates to the highest level of input, which means anything lower, anything real, stops triggering the same response. We can see from this custom graph that I made that when you consume pornography, there's a large, intense spike of dopamine that then stays higher longer over time. This can't compete with healthy relational intimacy, nor does it compete to real-world stimuli like food or even nicotine. Now, here's the part that most people don't realize, and this is important. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's meaningful and what's just intense. It only knows what's repeated and reinforced. So if the highest level of stimulation is artificial, that becomes your new baseline. So let's test this for a second, all right? I want you to sit still. No phone, no noise, no distraction. Just sit there. If you mind this immediately and you start reaching for something, if it feels uncomfortable, that's not random. That, my friend, is the system that your brain has been trained within, affecting your ability to stay present, to feel, and to respond. And this is where it starts to impact real life. I had a client, he was married happily, kids, a good man, doing everything right on paper. But behind the scenes, there was tension building. Not loud, but you could feel it. Because from his wife's perspective, this didn't feel like a brain issue. It felt like rejection. And over time, that shifted from confusion to hurt to resentment. And on his side, he's thinking, that's not what this is. He loves her. He's attracted to her. He wants connection. But every time they get close, there's pressure. He gets in his head and his body doesn't respond. So he starts avoiding it subtly. And she feels that distance growing. And this is the part that most men do not see coming. It's not just affecting your response. It's changing the dynamic of your relationship. So let's talk about shame and remove it right here, right now. This is your brain adapting to a system that changed the rules on you. Think of it like something or someone got in the driver's seat of your car. It's not you, it's a pattern, it's a system, it's the hijacker. And once he's in control, he sets the new standards, and he never stops demanding more. That is the miswire. Every spike is followed by a crash. It goes even further to go below baseline. And when your brain repeats it, then it adapts again. So now the lower those depths, they feel normal too. So now it takes more stimulation just to feel the same. Spike, crash, need more to feel okay. and less stimulation doesn't trigger the signal at all. This is where your response to real life intimacy starts to break down. All right, now here's where this gets even more interesting, because most people think that this is psychological. But psychological issues are actually neurological, so it goes much deeper and it's measurable. But it's not just psychological. Your brain runs your mind and it runs your body. You might not realize, but erections don't start in the body. They start in an axis in the brain. The brain processes the signal. Then it sends it through your nervous system down to your organs and the body responds. So if that signal is dysregulated or not functional, the body never receives a clear message. That's what's happening. And when we look at this in the brain, we can actually see two very clear patterns that show up over and over again. First, I call strained brain, an overactive, pushing, forcing, trying to perform brain pattern. Then there's drained brain, flat, underactive, not generating enough signal. And in both cases, the response breaks down. So think of this like your brain is like a traffic system. In a healthy brain, you have go, acceleration, you have slow down, which is your yellow light. Yes, it means slow down. And then you have red for stop. But in strained brain, there's no slow down. It's go and crash. Now in drain brain, you're stuck in that neutral mode, not fully going, not fully stopping, coasting. Neither state produces a strong, clear signal. But here's the shift, and this is where most people get it wrong. You don't fix this by trying harder. You fix this by retraining your nervous system, which starts with your brain. The same brain that adapted to the hijacked can in fact adapt back. You're not eliminating dopamine, you're regulating it. You're bringing it back into a range your brain can actually use in a healthy way. Because when the signal stabilizes, everything changes. And I know what you might be thinking right now, right? Okay, but how long does that actually take? That's the number one question that people ask me. So here's the truth. In just 7 days, you can start to feel that shift. First, you interrupt the hijacker by removing the highest stimulation input. Then the system drops. And this is where most people quit because it feels flatline. But that's actually the reset. The sensitivity begins to return from there. Focus improves and response begins to come back. And now it's not forced. It's regulated and it's real. But often resetting isn't enough. You have to train your brain to stay there. And this is where neurofeedback and my Regulate First program comes in. And as you can see, at Dr. Trish, Leigh & Company, we use top tier technology. And it's amazing because it's clinical grade hardware and software that you can use at home. This, in fact, is the hubs. We use this technology even though now it allows me to work with people all over the world. This is a graph of the client that I spoke about. And after he was able to train his brain out of strained brain and out of drained brain, honestly, which you saw on the brain map, now he's able to feel and perform at the levels that he wants to. And that changed everything. So when I jumped back on Zoom with him and his wife, they were beginning to repair the rupture that explicit content had created for them. Now they're able to have the relationship they want and deserve. In this brain map, it's easy to see the strain in this client's brain. Up top, too much slow speed, like that stoplight. At the bottom, too much acceleration, pedal to the metal on the gas. In the middle, not enough of that neutral speed that allows them to be relaxed to connect. Because now we're not guessing, we're measuring. we're actually seeing how your brain is functioning, and we're looking at the gap between healthy function and what you're experiencing now. Then we guide it back into regulation so the signal becomes strong and consistent again. And this is what it actually looks like. What you're seeing here is real data, real progress over time. This is the brain moving out of dysregulation, coming down and stabilizing, becoming much more efficient. And when the brain becomes more efficient, the signal becomes stronger and it becomes much more consistent. So this is not willpower that we're talking about. This is training your brain to function the way it was designed to. And when that happens, this is the result. Real connection, no pressure, no forcing, no second guessing, just being present and responding naturally. This is what people actually want, not just performance, but experience, connection, confidence, and ease in their relationship again. And this is the shift. When the signal is regulated, everything changes. You're not chasing stimulation anymore. You're not reacting, thank goodness. You're not being controlled by the hijacker. You're back in the driver's seat, baby. Clear, steady, in control. And when you're there, the response to intimacy doesn't have to be forced. It's just there, available for you. If you want to understand how your brain specifically is functioning and what pattern you're running on, go over to drtrishleigh.com, because at the end of the day, you know it. You either control your brain or in fact, it will control you. I'll see you next time.